Are you heading out to the Sphere to go see Dead & Company? Are you?
You are.
I am.
You are.
Well,
I'm a maybe. Still, I'm waiting.
If you are one of those people, you should probably get yourself something new to wear so you're not wearing the same old shit you wore to the last show you went to.
Maybe they can get something stains at like Shop Tour Bus.
That's true. You can go to shoptourbus.com or at shoptourbus on Instagram and hook yourself up with some fresh Grateful Dead inspired merch made by the finest folks on the planet. They have the Digital Lot's coolest designs, period.
And maybe if you're not going to the Sphere and you want to, you can get the Going Down the Road Feeling Bad shirt.
Or the Truckin' shirt.
Yeah.
Or the Tennessee Jed.
Or the Steal Your Tape. You get the idea. There's a bunch of them. Go over there. You could even create a t-shirt set list with yourself if you really wanted to. So here's what you're going to do. Go to shoptourbus.com. And when you're checking out, make sure to put in the promo code.
No Simple Road. All one word.
When you're checking out. And you're going to get free shipping from the family
free
over
shipping
at Shop Tour Bus. And hey, every order comes in a hand-designed box with a one-of-a-kind design on it, a bunch of extras, and some of you are even going to get a Grateful Dead cassette tape
bootleg
in your order. So, you know, you're not just getting the stuff you ordered, you're getting love in a magic package that's coming right to you from the family over at shoptourbus.com. Coffee is probably the best drink on the planet. And
that's not a fact. That's an opinion.
No, that's actually a fact. I looked it up. You can look it up too. But here's another fact: the best coffee in the world comes from our friends over at Northbound Coffee Roasters. And I'm all joking aside. I know they're a sponsor, and I gotta say stuff. But the truth of the matter is, this really is the best coffee I've ever found. I have tried a lot of coffee. I've even tried $100 a pound bags of coffee that Apple bought me for my birthday last year, or Christmas or something. It is not as good as Northbound Coffee Roasters.
And I want to read their, they have an ad from 10 years ago that they posted on their site today. Handcrafted by artisans obsessed with crafting tasty coffees for you to enjoy. We select the finest certified organic and direct trade coffees, roast them carefully on our vintage roaster, and deliver them fresh to you. Available in finer grocery stores and at cafes, or order online.
And I know what you're saying to yourself right now. You're like, well, wait a minute. If this is the best coffee in the world, how do I get it? Well, I'm going to tell you. You head to northboundcoffee.com to learn more. Place your order today. They ship anywhere in the U.S., and their coffees are always roasted to order to guarantee the freshest cup. Make sure to use the promo code NOSIMPLEROAD at checkout for free shipping on your first order of any size anywhere in the U.S. And make sure to sign up for their newsletter, because it's always got all kinds of like extra discounts and cool info and stuff. The owners of this place, Keith and Jen, are heads. They have over 600 Grateful Dead and Fish shows between the two of them, and they are pouring all of their love and tension and coffee knowledge into this thing that is Northbound Coffee Roasters. I promise, if you try it, you're gonna be like, damn, Aaron, you were right. So go head over to northboundcoffee.com and see what I'm talking about.
And take it from Santa. Every day is like Christmas when you have Northbound Coffee coming in the mail.
That's absolutely true. Thanks, Adam.
Shopify grows your business no matter how far or big you grow. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling your fans' next favorite shirt or an exclusive piece of podcast merch, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Allbirds, Rothy's, Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know the road may seem to go on forever and a lifetime.
and a lifetime. Forever. Yeah, man.
A lifetime forever.
Forever and a lifetime. That's
Forever
what
and a lifetime.
Young and Sick said. You know, I never. Well, first, hey now, No Simple Road family, what's up? This is Aaron
It's Apple.
And Mel.
and
Who else?
And we have a special guest.
Me.
who's me?
Come on, me.
Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the studio.
Dan looks like he's hiding behind the
know.
microphone.
Dan,
You're allowed to be
Dan
your
turned
free-
into like
Yeah,
a
man, it's just us.
5-year-old child. as soon as
Nobody
we
can
start
hear this
growing up.
yet. It's all just us. So what I was going to say is I didn't ever make a proper announcement for the new intro music. I just kind of started sliding it in there to see if anybody would notice.
Well, of course
Oh,
they
I
know
like
this.
Nobody said anything. So
What do
I'm
you
going to
want
say
people to
something about it. I want fanfare. I want parades. I
Oh
want
my God.
paratroopers with neon signs. I want.
Wow, that's festive.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Fireworks.
That's
I'm not
kind
really a
of it.
fan of fireworks, if I'm being honest.
And they
bro.
scared Darwin.
They
so
do.
we'll just leave those out.
Yeah.
So anyway, the music that you just heard leading up to us
Our intro music.
was created by our friend Young and Sick.
That's right.
For the No Simple Road family.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. And he even did a dope ass logo for us too back a while ago
Yeah.
that you can still get in the store
On the
over at
merch.
nosimpleroad.com if you want to buy yourself some merch. Anyway, our guest this week though is a new friend.
Yeah.
Our new friend Kyle
A
Tuttle.
new banjo friend.
Yeah.
I love new
and
banjo friends.
We had a blast talking with Kyle, and it's a fortuitous timing on the release of this episode because he just got his Grammy in the mail.
That's right.
So congratulations,
With the
Kyle,
Molly
for
Tuttle band.
hooking that up and well earned and rightly deserved, brother. And then his new album
Labor of Lust.
just came out through Heady Wax Fiends, which is another episode that we're going to be releasing here in a couple of weeks. Is
Yeah.
a dope record club that you can be a part of. And if you were a part of it, you would have just received Labor of Lust. But since you didn't and aren't, you can't and you won't.
Well, and then also Kyle just had a birthday. He celebrated a birthday. So it seems like he's having one hell of a year already off and running.
yeah, Kyle's,
Right out the
Kyle's
gate.
world's
Going on.
coming
It's
up
like-
roses right now.
Sounds like a good birthday month. And another May birthday.
Yep, another May birthday.
Wow,
Lots of transition.
Yeah.
I got good company in May.
Yeah, you
Huh,
do.
Dan?
That's true.
Yeah.
Dan, you got a May birthday.
Dan
Yeah.
joined us
May
on
14th.
his birthday when he got here on his birthday.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
That's why we had
now.
a birthday cake.
That
Do
was
you
the whole
remember?
birthday cake candle thing. I
Yeah.
got it. I remember. I get it now.
Wow.
It's been a busy week
Keep
over
up.
here. I'm gonna try. I'm trying, babe. I really am. It's
I know you are.
there's a lot going on in this thing right here. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You want to read something, Apple? You said.
Well, yeah, because the new album, and like they said, it came out on Heady Wax Fiend Records. It has been out on February 16th on all your streaming platforms, but not that dope colored, LP you can get. But this is from his site, and I just love what it says about the new album. On his new record, Tuttle explores a wide range of sounds and possibilities for the banjo, while his songwriting gives insight into a tumultuous time in his own life, losing a mentor and going through a divorce. A life in professional music or performance of any kind, really, is often painted in glamour, but the man behind the curtain can exist in a difficult duality. An attempt at putting a saddle on success can eat a person up and wreck the things that they hold dear. In reality, any pursuit of the love of the masses can easily become a labor of lust.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. And you're going to hear a lot more. We talk about the album and the stuff that went
Yeah.
into it.
And
And this is a great conversation.
Anybody that creates a wrap for their cat feeder is A-okay in my book, man. So let's do the business and get everybody to the interview or the conversation. Sorry, everybody. You ready, Mel?
I'm ready.
You're stretching.
I'm stretching.
and yawning.
I feel like a kitty today. I feel like all I want to do is just stretch my back and pull my arms as far apart as they possibly can be and feel
Sniff catnip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You were
Yeah.
dancing earlier too.
Yeah,
when
I
pulled
had
up.
to get out my wiggles.
Your wiggles.
Mhm.
All right, let's do the business.
Wiggle,
cat.
wiggle.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at No Simple Road.
And Facebook
That's
at No
right.
Simple Road. And Twitter at No Simple
That's
Road.
right. And then after you're done with that, go to www.nosimpleroad.com, which
That's where you can
That's
get our
where you
merch.
get cool merch.
You can get a tarot reading with the Grateful Dead tarot deck done by Mel and I over Zoom. You sign up, you get an hour-long reading. I send you all kinds of info afterwards, a set list based on the cards that you pulled. It's a whole mishigas going on over at nosimpleroad.com. Plus, we got the Keep Separate Weird t-shirts up there. We got the Thug Life Jerry shirts up there. Go over to nosimpleroad.com and check that out. And then go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. That is how you can support NSR and be a mensch. Well, you're probably already.
yeah, you're a mensch.
But here's the deal. No Simple Road does cost $1 a month. It's $1 a month to listen to NSR. You get 8 episodes for that $1. But the other side of that dollar coin is nobody's paying attention if you're paying or not. So it's the honor system, everybody. $1 a month. Honor system, patreon.com/No Simple Road. And hey, if you do go over there and you sign up, our friends over at Lost Sailor Leather have created special No Simple Road leather stamped keychains. And if you sign up for $5 or more a month, you will get a No Simple Road keychain plus all the other stuff that is up there. You get all the episodes a day early-ish and ad-free. You get Connor's picks, the best Grateful Dead picks on the planet. You get Andrew's picks, who picks the best stuff from around the jam scene, and a whole bunch of other extra stuff. So go over to Patreon and check that out. Do we have any new reviews, people?
We do. We always ask that you leave a review, and this is Apple Podcasts. You can go over and do that 5 stars and leave a review. We did get a new review this week.
On
Second
Tuesday?
one for May.
Mel,
you want to do it?
Yeah, everything's tight.
Everything. Yeah,
From age. Wait, what is that?
Come on, babe. You could do it.
Ooh, age P06.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sorry. I have been a listener for years now. When I'm listening to you guys, it feels like I'm hanging with dear friends.
Aw.
Love this podcast, all the interviews, and how the universe is working for us all. Thanks for keeping it real and all the rad vibes you guys produce.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
See?
That's sweet.
Simple as that, everybody. That's how you work.
How would you read that
name? I
name?
read the name?
Yeah.
HPO6.
HPO6.
Okay.
I was trying to sit there. There might be something
Exactly how I
cryptic
read
in
that.
there, but
Okay.
we're not getting
Yeah,
it.
no. You know what, man? That is really sweet, and we appreciate it. It's as simple as that. It's not hard, and it really does stuff for the show. It helps us be recognized by other people, and the algorithm and all the things that,
And
what
when
I'm
you're
talking
looking
about,
for a
man.
new
I don't know what I'm
podcast-
saying anymore.
You're just going to wait for me to keep talking so you can talk?
No, go
Is that
ahead.
what's happening?
No, go ahead.
Okay. That's it.
Go
Oh
ahead.
no, the trains have collided. No.
That's okay.
What?
It's move on. Let's move on.
Move on.
I want to say
Do you want to say
yeah, that.
So there.
A special we love you to Evan out there. Evan wrote to me on Instagram the other day and is having a rough go and reached out to the show and just wanted to say that we love you, man, and hang in there. And if you need us, you know where to hit us up, and we'll always be here. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, we love you, Evan.
Yeah. Am I missing anything? 971
I was going to say the tepid line.
971-808-1524. That is the No Simple Road tepid line. You can call in. You got 3 minutes to say whatever the hell it is you want.
Yep. Open mic. Open mic. You can do whatever you want. And we always give suggestions, but you can come up with something cool.
And last but not least,
What?
there's one more thing. You can't think about it?
No.
What's the last thing we say?
Oh, the most important thing.
Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Tell a friend about your favorite episode. Tell your mama. Tell your dad. Tell your boyfriend. Whoever you want to tell. Tell them, hey, man, I listened to that Rhythmia episode with Dr. Jeff McNary. It was amazing. Let's go to Costa Rica. Let's do this ayahuasca thing. Or, you know what? That was a great recap with Scotty from Winter Wondergrass. Anything.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things. We're going into summer and spring, all the fun stuff. Like, go shout it from the rooftops at the next outing you're at. And you can get the whole family, all your friends at once.
There you go.
Just holler at them. Just needed to announce that.
Just make sure you keep your
Listen
clothes
to No
on.
Simple Road.
For sure. All right, everybody. Let's get them to this conversation.
I was going to say
in just a
two
second.
last things because we didn't say before. You can go over and find out what Kyle Tuttle is up to at kyletuttle.com and at Kyle Tuttle Banjo on Instagram to see what he is up to on his own with his band and with Molly Tuttle.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
All right. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Kyle Tuttle.
Your little darling's putting on her smile. You know that she's been putting on a while. It's hard to say, 'cause every day is a different day when you're living all those days out in denial. But if you get tired of walking in that line, sit down and have a drink of turpentine. It's hard to say why there's no light to light the way when you're turning dirty water into wine. I'm running in my place, closing in, about to lose that race. It's hard to say what makes a good man act that way, maybe longing for another time and place. Knowing that it's gone and gone for good makes you wonder what the hell you're waiting on, when it seems like such a short time to be here and a long time to be gone. How about now?
How about
Yay.
yes?
Now we can hear you.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Oh, not too much, man. How y'all doing?
Great.
We're good. We're super stoked for this.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah, Kyle, right on.
What's up, man?
My name is
Who
Mel.
else?
Okay, I'm Mel. And then
Mel.
we have
And then I'm Apple.
Apple.
Yes.
Right on.
Kyle, what are you doing today, man?
Man, I just got back. I actually just got back from the Jerry Garcia Museum opening up there in Owensboro, Kentucky.
How was that?
yeah, while it's fresh.
There's a cat food machine going off right now. if you hear that, it feeds it's an automatic feeder for the cat when we're gone, and there's a little rap that I wrote for.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. The machine raps for the cat as it feeds it.
Correct.
Okay, sure. All right, cool. Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very interesting setup.
Yeah, the lucky cat, man. So, how was the opening?
Man, it was really something else. I mean, I'm still just sort of trying to wrap my head around it, I guess, because Vince Herman put the music together, was the musical director, and was like the house and Leftover Salmon was the house band for the thing. But then this huge, a good list of special guest people, specifically Peter Rowan and Maria Moldauer and Eric Thompson and David Nelson. And these are all cats that like played music, lots of music in the formative years, with Jerry.
Wow.
And so the sort of just like collective knowledge about him, just being in that place with all those people, it was kind of heavy. I mean, it was really cool. I feel like I learned a lot, I learned as much as I'm ever going to be able to learn about Jerry, probably.
Was it somber?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, just heavy. I just mean heavy, I guess, like intense,
Oh, yeah.
Like a
intense
lot to
and
take
strong.
in.
A lot to take in. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't somber though. It was a party for sure. It was cool.
So what's one cool thing that you learned that you didn't know? Because you said that there was a lot of things. Like, what's one of the things being around all that, like you said, those people that were so entwined in his life?
The only way out
is in.
That's right. And the way to go in is to head over to our sponsor, Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates. Go follow at Melt Mushrooms on Instagram. MELTMUSHROOMS. The S is important. On Instagram. Shoot them a DM. Tell them No Simple Road sent you. And they will send you a menu of all of their
delicious
flavors.
They have a lot of good flavors. The newest ones that they have are the coffee one in collaboration with Canyon Coffee. The coffee ones are so good.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? The horchata.
Yeah. And the quinoa crunch, peanut butter, mint, dark chocolate, pistachio, milk chocolate. You get the idea. It's the flavors of chocolate bars, but with 4 grams of their sacred mushroom blend in every bar, and a bunch of adaptogens to help that do what it said it's supposed to do. And this is good medicine, everybody, and they're shipping right to your door. So go follow at Melt Mushrooms. Tell them NSR sent you. You're going to get 20% off your bar and get your head right, man. The only way out is in.
What's one of the things that I learned? Just really how seriously he took the music, because like I said, it was a party, but people, everybody that talks about being around him, he took playing the music very seriously, and especially with Old and in the Way. Like I was talking to Peter Rowan about the vocal just sort of picking his brain about the harmonies and who sang which part and how they worked out the vocal stacks with Old and in the Way, with Jerry, and Grisman was mostly the other one singing. It's mostly Peter and Dog and Jerry. And, and that's one of the things Peter said. He said, if you go in there in the museum and you look at some of those pictures where he doesn't have the beard, and you can see his face better, you can see how focused he is when he's singing and stuff like that. He was talking about one picture specifically in the museum, but, that's
so cool.
Yeah. And on the same day, Pabst Blue Ribbon started following you?
No, that was I think it was actually a couple days apart, but pretty much within the same week. So yeah,
so what that now, man? I mean, that's it, right? You did it.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I've been working towards that one for damn near 20 years.
Hit the plateau.
I don't know how much of my money they've got, but quite a bit.
Yeah. What was your entry to Jerry's music? We have a Long Strange sponsor on the show now. We do.
Yeah?
Long Strange Putt. That's right. They are sponsoring No Simple Road, and you're asking yourself,
what's Long Strange Putt?
Well, Mel, let me tell you what Long Strange Putt is. It is an online store carrying all kinds of amazing merchandise like golf club covers, hats,
apparel.
That too.
Accessories,
fanny packs, stickers, divot fixers, bucket hats,
and mystery boxes.
If you're in the jam band scene, and I'm guessing you are because you're listening to this show, go over and check out what Long Strange Putt has on their store right now. They are hooking up the No Simple Road family up with 20% off. Use the promo code NSR20. You're going to get 20% off of any order over $50 from our family over at Long Strange Putt.
NSR20.
Also, make sure to go on Instagram and follow at Long Strange Putt, because there is always great humorous stuff going up over there.
Like the kids say, the dankest memes on the net are coming from a Long Strange Putt. And I think my favorite item on the Putt store is the Lot Frog fanny pack or the Fluffhead bucket hat. So that'll give you a couple of little ideas of what's cruising on over.
I like the dancing chunky sticker too.
Yep. So go to longstrangeputt.co. That's longstrangeputt.co.
I was like a metalhead, like a punk rocker, you know. And I was in a band with my buddies, and I grew up playing guitar. I started as a guitar player. When I was a little kid, I just got turned on to it. My grandparents had this little toy guitar that I would just pick up and bang her on and sing songs and stuff when I was like 2 or 3 or whatever, you know. So I got put in guitar lessons when I was like 5 years old, and then I got real into punk rock and metal, and you know, like the speed picking shred metal guitar type of thing. Okay. You know, big distortion sounds and stuff like that. And then when I was like 16, probably. I got turned on to the Grateful Dead by a good buddy of mine named Ian Newberry. He moved to town, started going to the high school that I was going to, and he was a really good guitar player, better than me, no doubt, you know. And he sort of got turned on. He was a Deadhead and a jazz guy, and I was a metalhead, you know. So okay. we had a really cool friendship because we turned each other on to different stuff. And one of the things that he turned me on to was the Grateful Dead. So that was super cool. And then I started getting into bluegrass, and the Old and In the Way realization that the Dead and the bluegrass thing was connected actually took me like a little bit longer to figure out for some reason. Same. Like I knew that I just thought of Jerry as a guitar player, and then I started getting into bluegrass also, you know, and then maybe, I don't know, 6 months into that journey or something, it was like, wait a minute, you mean there's a connection between these things?
Oh shit, it's on.
Oh shit, it's on. Yeah, and then look at me now. I mean, I'm stuck here now. Still, it's been 20 years.
What do they say? Been there so long, he's got to calling it home.
Me and Aaron were talking about that, like, because today we were watching a lot of videos and stuff of you and your band and everything, and we were wondering, there's always like our story. He was a punker back in the teens. I was a metalhead, and we've been best friends for 40 years.
Awesome.
And then it led to the Dead, but we saw you like sometimes on stage, like with the Subhuman shirt on.
I was like, oh yeah, he was a punk kid.
We're
too.
Like, you know, yeah. And with the new album, you got the Anarchy and it's in so many people's, which makes sense. We're that was our found family then, the punk scene or the metal scene, and then Grateful Dead comes along, opens up a whole nother world of music that goes with it so well, you know.
Yeah.
But Kyle, I got to know, like, playing shred guitar and speed picking to banjo, now it makes sense. Like, I understand it now, musically, how they go together. But at the time, what was the slide? Like, how did that happen?
Well, it was a couple of things. I mean, I think the sound appealed to me, you know, because of the on top of the beat, really forward, loud, you know, banjo and electric guitar. The banjo is kind of like the electric guitar, you know, the banjo or the fiddle, I guess, or like the electric guitar of the bluegrass band, maybe, of your standard 5-piece bluegrass band. I don't really know, but so sonically that was, and it appealed to me that way. But my buddy Ian Newberry, like I was talking about, he's an excellent guitar player, and he and I started getting into the bluegrass stuff around the same time, you know, and we were both, like I said, we were showing each other a lot of things, and he was just getting better at guitar. We would both take home the Tony Rice tape, and then we'd come back and he'd play what he learned, I played what I learned, and when he played what he learned, I was like, damn, dude, he's got it, you know. So and while I was 17, for my 17th birthday, my grandparents, who also had this toy guitar, you know, that had sort of started my whole path there, magically had a banjo sitting in the attic. It's been there like since the 60s, that I had never heard about or anything like that. And it wasn't like a nice one. It was a silver tone. It was, I guess my grandpa had probably bought it basically during like the folk revival, you know, and wanted to try to learn. He had also bought a fiddle a little bit later in life and tried to learn that a little bit, but it didn't come to him physically, the stuff, very easily. He didn't really stick with it or anything. So I guess he had bought that banjo, similar story, and it had been in the attic like for my whole life. And then on my 17th birthday, because I was like starting to get into bluegrass and stuff, they pulled it out and gave it to me. And so that was just really serendipitous. Like the first thing, and it had some little book, some little homemade, this is how you play the banjo book with it. And the first little lick thing on page 1 that when I like played it, when I like sat down there and like did it. And the first time I did it, I was just like, yeah,
I'm in.
This is it, man. This is it. Yes. This is what I'm going to do.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's
so
rad.
then I started working my ass off to play the banjo, and taught myself, and so that I could jam with my buddy Ian too, because now he's playing guitar and I'm playing banjo, so we got a cooler thing going on, and everybody's got a little more sympathy for me sucking at the banjo than they have for me sucking not at the guitar. So
yeah, but now you don't have to compete. You can do your own thing. You're not trying to be better or anything.
My thing, yeah, totally. So it came out of luck, there with my family just sort of having one, and then also with that influence of my buddy and having someone to play with and learn with, helps a lot.
It's not a like one for one going from the guitar to the banjo. It's the strings are tuned differently. It's a different thing. Was it a hard slog to learn?
The right hand is more of what's different, really and truly, because the left hand, the strings are tuned differently, but you're still making shapes on the neck, so there's a couple new shapes to learn, a couple modified shapes to learn or whatever. It's not that big a deal. The right hand, the pattern, the picking stuff, wearing finger picks and doing all that stuff, that's the more difficult part. I think.
Do you do claw hammer also?
Very poorly. Yeah.
I don't agree. I saw you doing it today. I don't agree.
Yeah.
No, I don't really. I wouldn't advertise myself as a real. I wouldn't call myself a real clawhammer banjo player, because I know real clawhammer banjo players and they got some techniques that I don't really have. But I can make a little noise with it like that too.
I fool around with the guitar. I've been playing for a while, and Mel got a banjo. I bought her a banjo last year for her birthday, and I've picked it up a few times.
That's how it goes.
It seems like the most difficult fucking thing on the planet to me. Like, it's so confusing.
But also he knows how to. You play it just fine. You make it sound amazing. So again, he's playing the same thing you're doing. You know how to do. I feel like when you play guitar and you have that, it's a lot easier to transfer versus never having played any stringed instrument. And then, because like you said, the shapes on the strings are the same, but when you're doing patterns, that's a whole different thing than a strum.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It is. Yeah, it's a whole different animal. But it's never too late. It's never too late to learn.
How long did it take you to make you till you felt really good and comfortable? Like, how long of a span was that?
Oh, I don't feel really good and comfortable yet. I don't think.
Really?
I think,
could.
Yeah. I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could definitely be better. I mean, hell, I could have done better at playing what I played last night,
That's true. But what I mean is, like, what you're making a living doing it. This is your life. So like, there was a point where you had to be like, trust in yourself and be like, yeah, I'm good enough to do this.
Trust in yourself and be stubborn too, maybe, being stubborn enough to just keep showing up and keep doing it again and again and again, I mean, like I said, I was playing with my friends, I had, when I started playing banjo, I had already been in like when I say bands, I mean like basement punk rock bands with my buddies.
Yeah.
It's not like real bands or anything like that, but we made real music, and it was loud. The jamming with people element of me playing the banjo has been like in it from the very beginning, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So, I mean, I started playing gigs. I mean, I probably was playing banjo on little local gigs within 3 or 4 months of picking one up for the very first time. But like I said, I was already familiar with all these other things like we just talked about. Yeah. And I like had the bug, man. I had it so bad. My senior year of high school, we did what was called block scheduling. So you had like 4 classes for a semester and then 4 classes for another semester.
Right.
So, like half the year, like 4 different classes for the next half of the year or whatever. And so you had to have 2 real classes like math and social studies or whatever, and then 2 that you get to choose for the first half. And then the same thing happened for the second half. I had got to have a good relationship with the band instructor at my high school. And I wasn't in the band. I had been in the band playing trumpet and French horn and shit when I was like in 9th grade, and I hated it and I sucked so bad at it that I quit. But even through all that, I made a real good relationship with the band director, and I had through my whole time in high school. So for my senior year of high school, he put me in the schedule both semesters for 2 courses of band every day. So I had like math and social studies and band. And then the second semester I had like whatever, the 2 other things you have to have that I don't remember what they are, and band. And I wasn't in the band, lucky me. I don't have anything to do for half of my day at high school, but I was at school and there was a room next to the band room that I could hang out in. And I just took the banjo to school with every day. I mean, I spent my whole senior year of high school basically learning to play the banjo.
Wow.
At school for half of the day.
You got to woodshed at school.
I got to woodshed at school, yeah.
Wow.
Because the band director was super cool.
That's
for
like
me,
on the job, like paid training or something, not paid, but like if you would have had to pay for lessons, you know what I mean? Like that's
totally for that amount of time, I mean, shit, I had like 4 hours a day to, and there was a streaming, there was like music streaming. This was 2004 when I graduated. So this is like 2003 when this is happening. There wasn't really like, you could still download music, but there wasn't like Spotify or anything like that out. But there was this website called Radio Free YMSB, and it was a streaming service of tapes of shows like Yonder Mountain String Band. They had a Yonder Mountain String Band radio and a John Hartford radio station where they just played bootlegs. I don't know what their archive was. It may have been from archive.org or something like that, but they just streamed from this one little website, all these live shows, and you couldn't download them. You couldn't pick them and listen to them. I think you just had to stream it, You
just put it on.
I would sit there and tape. Yeah. You just put it on and listen to it. Right. And you had to be at a computer, So I would sit there and have a tape recorder going for that thing and just like sit in school and listen to John Hartford tapes, listen to John Hartford live shows, like tape the songs that I liked and learn to play them and shit. It was really cool.
What?
Wow.
You created your own curriculum.
I did. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they would have let us do that? We would have just smoked weed the whole time.
Could you imagine?
I mean, I snuck outside and smoked weed too. That was also part of the deal.
Well, but
not part of the deal, but part of that's also part of my curriculum.
Got it.
Yeah.
This is a great argument for letting kids plan their own day. Like with the right frame of mind. I mean, because you said you were like really had a hunger for it. So like with the right attention to something and focus, like look at what you can create. Seems like you're living a pretty fun, rewarding life.
It's not. I can't complain.
Have you ever?
Did
Did you ever go back? Did you get the opportunity to like thank that band teacher or anything after the fact, or?
I haven't seen him in many, many years. So no, not really. His name's Tim Kieser. He's an awesome dude. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Good job.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a heavy question. Are you happy?
Yeah. Am I happy? Am I happy doing with music and doing this, doing what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it?
The way you're doing it, I like that.
Yeah, I am, and it's. I'm extremely. I've worked super duper hard, but I'm also still extremely lucky. I mean, there's the two are not inseparable. I don't think. To be in the position that I'm in, right now, to get to be in the band that I'm in with the people that I'm in it with, and the relationship that we all have with each other, the Golden Highway situation is just really, it's a special, cool thing. And that's not lost on me, that it's not just some other gig. Yeah.
Right.
I've been working a long time and never had a situation like that before, yeah, I'm happy. I'm exhausted sometimes, but but I am happy because I've been in Nashville now for 12 years, I guess, and it's been a long journey to get to where I'm at. I mean, I'm not at the finishing spot of it or of my goal of it or anything by any means, but there was a long time where I wasn't really getting to work. It wasn't really just getting to like, play music that fit my life and have it feel like it's on my terms as much as it is maybe now, you know what I mean? Because now I can release my own music. I mean, I just put out that record and people like it. It seems like,
it's so
and I did like 8 shows, and some people came out, like there's people like singing along to some of these songs that had been out for like 4 days at this point, and I was just like blown away by that. So that kind of thing will make you happy, when you're doing this life, which does kick your ass. I mean, there's no question about it. If you want to try to make a living in professional music, it is going to kick your ass. Both physically and emotionally, beat your heart up pretty good when you care. Anything does when you care so much about it, and when you put your sort of livelihood on the line up there with your art, sort of. That's like a sort of bold and kind of stupid thing to do with your life, or a person to do with their life, But and I think that's kind of why I said stubborn. Said that thing about being stubborn earlier, but it's, I'm starting to feel like I can do some, like a lot, like I have some control in the way this all goes down to a little bit and to a little degree, and that feels really cool. It hasn't always felt that way. That's a pretty new feeling for me, I guess.
Congratulations, brother.
Congrats.
You deserve it, man. It's
thank you.
There's a lot of people playing music, and to be seen and heard is it all by itself a feat, but to do it with class and have talent like you have, and have worked as hard as you have, you deserve it, brother. It's that's the way it should be. If you put in the work, then you get the thing. But as an artist, that's not always the case.
Yeah, and I mean, shucks, thank you very much. Y'all gonna make me blush over here. But you're right, man, and that's sort of what I was trying to say too. It's not lost on me. Like a lot of people work their whole career and don't get to do any of the things that Golden Highway is getting to do right now. I mean, we're going for one hell of a ride, and it's just crazy to me. It's still surprising to me all the time. Start to look back at the calendar like, oh yeah, that's the stuff I did last year. Like, holy shit.
Well, congratulations on that too. The Grammy win. Wait, I was watching the Grammys. I jumped up and almost punched the light over me because I said, you were in a category. I mean, you're in the category with all those people who were in that category. And when they said it was like, holy shit, like you did it, man. And your reaction you posted of watching it on your Instagram was awesome too.
Yeah, it was. It still doesn't feel real. I don't have the Grammy in the mail yet, so it still doesn't feel real. But yeah, that category. I mean, just even being on that list of people. I mean, for God's sakes, Willie and Billy and Mighty Poplar and Michael Cleveland and all that.
Yeah, the heavy group.
And Bela won the one right before us. What was super cool for me is that the category right before us was some world music or something like that. I'm not really sure, world folk or something. But Bela Fleck's record, his most recent record with Zakir Hussain and Edgar Meyer.
We saw him perform
and the flautist whose name I'm blanking on, and I apologize to that person because they're totally up there and on their name is on the billing, and it's just as badass as those other cats. But that was nominated and that won the category right before us, and to me, Bela's like a huge inspiration. I mean, like my sort of guru, I mean, I know that's true for many banjo players, but he is hugely influential to me, and I'm such a nerd for him. He's like the only person that I like fanboy and like get weird around, you know. But it was so cool that he because basically the reason that I even think the Grammys are cool is because Bela has so many, and I remember learning I mean, like the Grammys, of course, are cool. I'm not dissing on the Grammys, but like as a banjo player, I would never consider that would ever be an option, probably, to be like in that mentioned in that world, win an award in that like music that's real and famous and big and part of the industry, not just bluegrass, you know. I mean, it's a bluegrass Grammy. It's not on the televised part, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh man.
But learning, you know, when I was a kid, when I was young and getting into bluegrass and learning about Bela and studying all that stuff and learning that he, at least at the time, and probably still has more Grammys in more categories than anybody else. So like he doesn't have the most Grammys, but he's got the most categories. He's got a bunch of Grammys, and they're in more categories than anyone else. And I was just like, damn, that is so cool, man. He's a Grammy Award winning banjo player. Like, that's so very inspiring to me. And like, what if I could get one?
And here we are. Dude.
And he won the one right before us. That's what I was trying to say. It's just it's so wildly full circle that they literally give him one and then give us one. It's just like he's the whole reason that I think it's cool. So,
wow. What's the guy's name, Mel?
Well, the album was As We Speak.
As We Speak.
That was amazing. Aaron and I had gone to the concert for that album, and it was.
I've never seen anything like that before.
It was like another world. It was like a portal. But anyway,
you guys came. They came home. Their eyes were like, "What?" It was like, "Did you guys go do a bunch of drugs?" They're like, "No,
not tonight."
What we just saw.
Rakesh Charasia.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Rakesh Charasia. That dude is bad to the bone.
He's
my
amazing.
God.
He changes like the entire vibration of the room.
The air changes in the place.
It like turned so serious, and not in a like bad way, but it just was like, there's no playing around right now. This
heavy,
is
you know, it's like that's
and
totally.
I mean, do you think about that with your music? Like when you're playing, the kind of feeling that I don't want to say giving, but that you're emoting. How does that happen? Like you're playing because you love it. You're playing because you're practicing. You're playing because you're getting paid to whatever. How does it come for you? It's just because of the love. Like how does your emotion come through?
Yeah, just because of the love. That's a really good way to put it, Mel, I think. Yeah, I love it. I love playing music. I love doing it. I love hearing it. I love, you know, watching it. I love you know, being in the crowd watching a band. I think, you know, I've had a lot of you know, formative, important experiences, moments that are watching music, you know, things that are important, memories that I have and stuff like that. So I know what it is like when it's done well, you know, from out here. So now if I'm up there doing it, you know, I mean, at least there's some awareness. I'm not going to say like, that's like the stuff I'm thinking about. That's not really what I'm like thinking about while I'm playing notes on the banjo, but I have an awareness of what a good show is or something. But, and so you got to think about that to some degree, I guess. At least if you're getting paid. Not maybe if you're not getting paid, you don't have to.
It changes depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. But I love it.
You understand the question,
I do,
right? You know what I mean? Like just like that thing that, and you answered it perfectly.
But I'm not done.
Oh, perfect.
That still, most importantly, it's the love of it, you know, and just trying to, and like when you get in the you know, sometimes it's easy to get worn down or something like that. But once the music starts, even between songs, you might be like, but once the music is coming out of your hands and you're singing the words, you know, it's like, I just love it so much. I love creating it. I love getting to create it. That I try and have that be the source of what I'm pulling from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel what you're saying.
Not like, oh, I hope I do a good job. I mean, there's a little bit of like, I hope I don't mess this up. There's a little bit of like, ooh, like I practiced this cool lick. Maybe I'll try it right now. You know, music school shit like that, you know, because I went to music school too for a while, but
it's beyond that, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I'm trying. That's not the thing I'm trying to think about when I'm up there doing it. I'm trying to think about what's right here and and connect and listen, look and listen, read the room.
Yeah, man. You know what though?
Yes.
I think coming up listening to the Dead is the thing for me that showed me that was even a thing. That was like the first, oh, this isn't an ego-driven trip. This is something else. And that's when my perception of what playing music could actually be changed. And it's a completely different animal than like when we were coming up, like any stupid metal band that we used to see. I can't think of any. Iron Maiden, whatever. Like, it's great. It's good music. It's still, listen to Maiden today. It holds up. It's great. It's not the same thing though. When you put on Terrapin Station or a really good Wharf Rat and it takes you to that place and all the hair stands up on your arm.
Or maybe it's just a different place.
I think it's where the music's
Yeah.
coming from is the source of that thing is just a different vibration. I don't know how else to say it. And I think that the success that you're seeing right now is because of that. And like you said, their luck sure is a huge part of it. There's other people that are doing the same thing that may never get to have a Grammy, but I think knowing the difference between the two things and then having the gratitude for where you're at is the key. Because otherwise you're just I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like what you're saying, it's one thing I personally love about watching you visually perform, Kyle, is you're one of the much more animated, colorful players up on the stage most of the time, and you, like, your love comes through. You look so happy up there playing, and you're very colorful and animated. You make it a lot more fun to watch. I love all bluegrass, but a lot of times it's just it's very stationary and just jamming. You bring a different like color and fun to it that is just amazing to listen to and watch.
Oh man, thanks, Apple. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. That's what I'm talking about. The fun, the love of it, the fun of it. That's like what I'm trying to draw. That's what I'm trying to share. That's the point I want to get across. If there's a point to get across in what I'm doing, and like you said, Aaron, it's like the Grateful Dead's a lot where I learned that from too, because you listen to all these, the culture of tapes, listening to live shows, listening for the differences, the things that happen different instead of the things that happen the same all the time. And you get a feel for like, man, when something happens different and you hear the crowd put, on an old Dead tape, man. Yeah. It's like, that's another moment where the hair stands up on the back of your neck, and it's just like, we always chasing, to me, I'm always chasing those moments, because that's the shit, man. That's the best. That's the fun. That's the fun stuff.
What better to chase? Well, that's like
totally.
That's a feeling that you get, and it's also like a shared feeling that we all feel. So it's
the whole room goes up, and it's like you just know it, and you're like, damn, that's cool. Something's
and
cool.
you remember it forever.
We're all in this together,
Yes.
Yeah, we're all. It's because it's a thing that we are all doing it together. There's information and emotion being sent both ways from between the stage and the crowd, and at a good show and in a good one of those moments, that's when it's like that energy just goes into a circle and it all is there, but it's like, we got stuff for you and you got stuff for us,
that's a good way to put it. I like that.
Hive mind, whatever that is. I've been trying to figure it out for 35 years and I still don't know what it is, but it's magic. It's magic. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. That's what we're all chasing.
It's the best shit ever. Like if I look, you're saying that and I'm kind of like looking around the room and I'm like, all the artwork that's in here, like all the important shit is all like mile markers of one of those moments for us. Do you know what I mean? Like Oh yeah, there's the thing from Fish at the Gorge, and the hair stands up on my nose. Oh, and there's Cornell 77, and boom, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that to me, when I'm however old and laying on my deathbed, the stuff that I'm going to remember is those moments of connection with the thing that was bigger than who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not going to be, well, I owned a really cool car and
I got a bunch of money in the bank.
Was like, it's going to be those moments. And so tell me, Kyle, about a little bit about recording Labor of Lust.
What's up, everybody? I am Finn McKenty, host of the Punk Rock MBA podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. My podcast is all about doing what you love for a living, and every week I sit down and talk to people who have done exactly that. For example, musicians like Tommy from Between the Buried and Me, Matt from Periphery, Lil Lotus and Shinigami, among many others, photographers, artists, designers, YouTubers like Glenn Fricker and Sarah Dici, and I unpack exactly how they got to where they are today with the goal of helping you do the same. So if that sounds cool, you can listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com, and I'll see you there.
That record was recorded over a couple of years. It was a couple of different recording sessions with a couple of different bands over starting in 2018. Some of it's as old as 2018, just a couple of tracks.
Wow.
And then about a third of it came in 2020, the very beginning of 2020, right before everything shut down. And then the rest of it came in 2021.
Okay.
And then, so it's basically been done since 2021. I mean, there's mixing and editing and stuff, mastering and stuff like that to be done. But the bulk of the singing and playing on it, has been done for a while. And I was just waiting to tour. I waited to put it out because I really wanted to release it with a tour, even a small tour. I did like 8 shows. But making it, it was, I thought over time, I thought it would be an EP first. And then I thought, I had different plans for it over the years. And then eventually I kept never putting it out, and I kept recording more music, and it's like, okay, well, I guess we got a full length record here.
Longer now.
It kept growing and growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who wrote Ground Speed? Is that
Earl Scruggs?
That's okay.
Okay, we're trying to figure which we probably could have looked up. We were like, well, who did this cover?
I think that one and Scorch on the Porch are my favorites off of
Right
this.
on.
Yeah, man. It's so good. And in the last, like, I don't know, I want to say since like 2017, 2016, there's been a lot more interest in bluegrass. It seems like the scene around bluegrass has kind of gone a little more mainstream than just not.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Do you think that has helped you or hindered you?
Helped for sure. That's good. Bluegrass, there was like, it's a pretty like fringe world, bluegrass, until historically, from the beginning of the thing. I mean, Flatt and Scruggs had a little bit of popular, you got Flatt and Scruggs on the Beverly Hillbillies. That was like the first sort of bump for real public eye bump for bluegrass. And then in 2000, the Oh Brother Where Art Thou thing, that was another gigantic bump for it, but now I think we're sort of experiencing another one of those right now. Beyonce just put out a Dolly Parton track and she's got banjo on that one. Rhiannon Giddens is playing banjo on that one track of hers. And that's I think it's great. That's good for us all. That's good for everyone. And it eventually, makes more connections back to the roots. What's cool about roots music is the way that people are going to check out that Beyonce track and then be like, oh, who's Dolly Parton? And then they're going to go look up Dolly Parton. They're going to be like, oh, this is cool. Well, inevitably you're going to like see like somebody who's grown up, some young person who's grown up as a Beyonce fan is like about to end up on YouTube watching Dolly and Porter singing "Oh Milwaukee, Here I Come" with like rhinestones and the big hair, and like that's probably 1,000 somebodies that like Beyonce are about to end up in that exact position, and probably like at least 5 of them are going to be like, this shit is awesome, you know, like and then you got a Dolly fan because you know, you got a Porter Wagner fan because of Beyonce. I mean, that's good for.
Yeah.
It's good for the momentum of this whole thing, just keeping on moving forward and growing and bringing more people into the fold.
I can't remember the cat's name that we talked to, that super fast flat picker that we talked to.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Jake Eddie?
Yeah, Jake Eddie.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Oh yeah. I don't really know Jake, but I know who he is.
So he had a really unique outlook. This is why I kind of asked you the question, man, because his outlook and take on it was kind of guarded as far as like bluegrass and roots music. He was like, you know, I'm down to teach anybody, because he teaches lessons and does homestays and all that stuff. He's like, but I feel like this music kind of belongs to the people that have lived it. And it should only, do you guys remember that?
Yes.
And I thought that was such a weird, like, totally respect his opinion.
Sure.
But it seemed weird to me. I was like, well, shit, if you love a thing, like, why wouldn't you want to share it with as many people as possible? You know?
Yeah, that's kind of, you know, I mean, I definitely, I wouldn't want to get into making anybody feel like it was like appropriated or something. You know, you're like taking this music and putting it in some place it's not supposed to be or something. But to me, there's a lot of respect to tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like for me personally, that I respect the tradition. But what I'm trying to say is, I think, and I get the impression, that respect for the tradition of where the music came from, and sort of a nod of the hat to the people that made it first, the people that Jake's probably talking about, you know, is just sort of inherently a component of sharing it, you know, of sharing it with new people. Like, you don't, to me, those aren't those. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like that comes along. That's part of it. Sharing it with anyone is a part of that is a nod of the hat to the people that made it. And so that's to me, I think I can only think that's good. I mean, I can't really see a way in which you're gonna hinder something, and maybe it gets watered down. Maybe someone else's new versions of songs, the further down the line you get from people that understand the real music, the real timing and tone elements of bluegrass music, of like really making it sound right, and like the way you strum your guitar, instead of like someone that comes from a rock and roll background and doesn't necessarily have these same timing and tone elements, might strum an acoustic guitar a different way. Right. And that's not, or a banjo or mandolin or whatever, and that's not as true to the sound, you know, so like technically speaking, so the music could be getting watered down maybe 3 or 4 times down the line. The song has lost a bit of what it might have if you heard it in North Carolina, picked by somebody on the front porch. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because the other one still exists, you know.
Totally.
And it always will. And also like it's hard to say. I mean, none of us really. That music is so old. Most of there's new songs being wrote in bluegrass and stuff like that, but most of it is so old. It's like about a life that, like, I don't know. None of us really
Right.
lived in the cabin, little cabin home on the hill. You know, I mean, I would love to have, but I didn't. You know, so
I'm shooting for that.
I know for a fact.
Totally. Will. Yeah, I still could have a little cabin home on the hill. It's a good point.
I was going to say,
Thanks,
I know
Aaron.
that Jake had his thing was definitely about the respect of where it came from and like it being the music of where they were. You know, like in that.
Totally.
So I don't think he meant it to be contrary or anything. I just felt like you were saying, Kyle, it's like a very respectful thing. But again, like you learning and sharing that music, that is respect. And when you try to emulate something or try to practice something, you know, that's also kind of a show of admiration and respect,
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
So,
Imitation is the biggest form of flattery.
Totally.
Yeah, man. And music's meant to be shared.
Well,
yeah.
And also taking an art form in its traditional form, learning it, and then doing something new with it is the definition of art, right? Like,
and it takes, and like that's so sort of what you're saying. It's like we're experiencing, you know, since about 2018, 17, 16, something like that, there's been a sort of another bump in bluegrass, you know, and so that along with any kind of bump like that, obviously is going to come some of those experimentations and crossover projects and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's how the music grows, you know, and some things stick and some things don't. I mean, you go back and listen to, you know, there's times in bluegrass where it became popular to mix certain things certain ways, you know, covered it, soaked in reverb and with some of these drum sounds that the Osmond brothers use and stuff. And it's like some of that stuff was like spaghetti at the wall and it didn't stick. We don't still do that. They did that for a little while, but we don't do that now because it wasn't the quite the thing, you know, but they tried it out, you know. And Bill Monroe's band, I mean, he had an accordion before he had Earl Scruggs join the band in 1945. He had a 2-finger banjo player, Snuffy Jenkins, and he had String Bean, I think, played in the band too. And Grandpa Jones, I think, probably had even played a show in the band, and there was an accordion, you know. So they were just like, Bill was an innovator, man. Bill Monroe was an absolute innovator, and especially later in his life, you know, he claimed it all as if he had done it, then it was bluegrass. And if you didn't do it like him, then it wasn't really bluegrass. But dude, you used to have an accordion in the band. I mean, and it started out with jugs and stuff. Like it's okay. There's experiments have been there since the beginning.
Well, and let's take it even a step further. Bands like the Chieftains and you know, traditional Irish music and all that, like that transformed when it came here into, you know, the Americana and the stuff that was happening then, and then that transformed into bluegrass, and now we're further down the road. And I think that's kind of rad to be able to look back through time and see a progression of a thing as it morphs and grows and changes. And dude, where we're at now with what you do and like the Kitchen Dwellers and Yonder and Green Sky, like all these bands that are made bluegrass psychedelic. Like, what a fucking amazing rad thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I love it. You know, obviously that's definitely like my cup of tea, you know, and I recognize that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't think one's better than the other or stylistically or whatever, but it's very cool that that's a more sort of acceptable and more common thing to see these days. You know, I mean, Yonder Mountain String Band changed the game. They were the real, they were the first ones to do it, to take a string band to that volume. You know, nobody had played those 4 instruments quite for that many people at that volume, like without drums and still singing 3-part harmonies and stuff. You know, they really, and with the light show and they, you know, I mean, they totally changed the game between like 2000, you know, 2 and 2006 2006, really. I mean, between 2000, I saw him in 2003. I saw him on my 18th birthday at the Georgia Theater in Athens. And, you know, that was like, I don't know how they maybe it was sold out. I don't even know. I think, I don't know if it was probably sold out, but you know, that's like 400 seats or something, 500 seats. I don't know. I mean, it was a small room for them. Then like 4 or 5 years later, they're playing 3 nights at Red Rocks. You know, I mean, that's like no string bands had not played 3 nights at Red Rocks at that volume with a light show, you know, and and I think so we have them to thank, you know, and it's cool because that came right after the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" thing, you know, so they really lucked out in that way because like you got in 2000 that record comes out and the very first recorded shows of the Yonder Mountain String Band are like 1999, fall of 1999 or something like that. So they were forming probably partially because of that, you know, to be honest. I mean, they probably saw that and had a little bit of the bug too, you know, and then being able to combine that stuff with the Dead, being able to grab the Deadheads and give them a place in bluegrass, and then or really re-establish their place in bluegrass since Old and in the Way had not been a thing, you know. I think it's we have them to thank.
And there's that luck thing. Again, just timing.
You know, I was just gonna say, what do you think luck is, Kyle?
Oh, shit.
Because not in every interview do we talk about the same thing, like, or the same point keeps coming up. But luck has come up actually like 6 or 7 times, and I just wonder what you make of it. What do you think in your head? Like, how do you reason it, or how do you explain it?
I try not to think too hard about that. I don't think
about luck.
Yeah, because it'll drive you crazy trying to wishing you had it or something. I don't know. You know, I think that we make our own luck. I mean, in a big way. That's like I said. I keep saying about being stubborn, you know, but just like showing up and doing it again. I think luck favors the dumb. You know, because we just keep on trying shit, you know, and that's and I think, and that's what I mean, I guess, to say that we make our own luck. You know, I've had some incredible opportunities come my way in life, and some that I've been able to capitalize on, and some that I haven't. You know, some that I've missed the boat on, and I still think. Often, sometimes, you know, like, oh man, what if I'd have made this different decision? I might have been, you know, whatever. I would have been in that band, or I would have been in this other band, or I wouldn't have ended up at this, whatever, you know, it's hard to say, but, you know, all of those opportunities ultimately happened because I was there at the place at the time, showing up, doing the shows, trying to be true to what I want. I guess, you know, like I said earlier, like trying to do it on your own terms or something. I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to say, but like when I moved to Nashville, you know, I was like trying to be a side man, trying to like, I wasn't sure exactly what I was trying to do. I went to music school for a little while, and then I moved to Nashville, and I was just like trying to get in a band, trying to be a side man, trying to get gigs. You know, I mean, I had short hair and I was all clean cut, and I wore a plaid button up shirt and showed up and played a million other people's songs on a million gigs, you know, in a million bands that were fun and really cool and taught me a lot. But weren't like big things, you know? Yeah. So you know, I just kept on doing it. So all those opportunities that have come my way have just been because I like the old, you know, the thing, must be present to win. They say, you know, like with your lottery ticket or whatever, or with your raffle ticket, must be present to win. But I think, I mean, that to me, that kind of, that is it's funny, but that's true. You know, how, I mean, if it's like, if just keep if you're the one that's around and keeps on showing up and keeps being there, you're probably going to be the one that gets the opportunity in the end, you know.
Sooner or later.
That's a damn good name for an album or a song.
What?
Must be present to win.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, totally.
I'm curious about, kind of in this vein of what we're talking about. You've had a lot of opportunities, taken the stage with a lot of different people. And is there anybody on on your list that you would love to play with that you haven't?
Yeah, but probably Dell. I mean, Dell.
Yeah.
I've never actually. I get to play with the McCurrys a lot, with Ronnie and Rob and the traveling McCurrys and all those guys. But I've never picked one with Dell. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I've. It's hard to say, I've got sitting in with a band is always different. It's things are different. Sometimes it's really cool and you have a really great, important musical connection moment with the people on stage. Sometimes the sound is just crazy and it's a very last minute and you don't know the song as well. And it's just, there's a million things. So it can be this incredible spectrum from like this awesomely profound event to like just kind of so and like actually a little bit annoying, and unfortunately it doesn't matter. It's not like the big famous fancy one that you want to be is good and the one a lesser important one, not that they're all the same, but it's like it doesn't matter. There's how important it is or how nice the place is has nothing to do with if it's going to end up on the good or bad side of that spectrum or how good the band is or whatever. So but I've been able to sit in with Bela's band doing my Bluegrass Heart show. And it was like a super band. It wasn't just like me, it was like all the Golden Highway was out there and stuff. But still, I mean, I was like, dude, I'm like standing right next to Bela and playing in his show, playing his song in his show and like playing the banjo next to him. That's just like,
yeah.
Did you see him like do anything dope that you stood out to you, like watching him play?
I don't remember like technique or licks or anything. I don't remember anything particularly that stood out from that time. I mean, I remember it being awesome. I remember that we played Whitewater and like when he we all took turns playing solos and like when he took one, like I didn't play the banjo and I just like sat there and looked at him and it was totally badass, but I've been lucky enough to get to be around Bela a handful of times and study with him a little bit.
Oh, cool.
So I have moments like that. I had maybe already had some of those moments, so like that wasn't the thing that was on my radar maybe when I was doing that show with him. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, and I got another question too, going back to the very beginning of your musical upbringing and stuff. I'm just curious, but growing up and learning banjo, guitar, starting young, did you and Molly play a lot together as kids, or did that come later in life?
This is a piece of trivia information that everybody is always trying to work out, and I do like to keep a shrouded veil of confusion around the whole thing, but we are not related.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Nope.
Okay.
Or are they?
Or are we?
Wink, wink, wink.
All right.
No, we're not. So, so that's, I can't answer that.
So then no.
Okay.
The answer is no.
So no, I guess the answer is no.
Yeah.
We did not play together.
So
I met Molly at Berkeley. We all of the band, all the Golden Highway band was at Berkeley in and around 2010. I guess all except for Shelby Means was the bass player, was not attending Berkeley, but she was in another band, Delamay, that was based in Boston at the time. So she was like up there. I met Shelby in Boston also. So around 2010, we all knew each other, got to know each other back then.
You said earlier, you've played in a lot of bands, you've played with a lot of people. You said, but this situation with the Golden Highway is different, unique. What about it makes it so?
Well, a big part of it is what I was just saying. It's like we all met and played together in jam sessions and stuff, 14, 12, 13, 14 years ago, you know, it was when those friendships those musical relationships were formed, you know? So, and I don't think any of us, I'm sure there was never one jam session of us all at the same time back then. I mean, I just know that never happened. But it's not like we were like, oh, maybe one day we should have a band in 15 years, you know? But that's what happened, you know? It's just really, it's like, I feel like it's like summer camp vibes, you know. They're like my brothers and sisters. I mean, it really feels that way, you know. Which is cool because I've been in a lot of bands. I've traveled and you get to know people, you know, when you travel down the road with them, no matter what the project is. And I'm a people person, so I'm social and I like to get to know people, and I've spent a lot of time in a lot of vans with a lot of people over the last, you know, whatever, 15 years, 20 years. But this one, it's cool, man. It just feels like family, you know. We get along really well, and there's a really cool history of shared shared group of experiences that creates our situation, you know. And then we've all worked with each other on other projects, you know. There's just a bunch, and all of the everyone in the band's significant others is also good dear friends of all of ours, and we're really well connected.
That's
and they're all killer musicians. Wow. So we have a joke of them. They have a band. They have their own band, the significant others band, and it's like they'd be as good as us, you know. Yeah. We may have to take them out to open for us or something sometimes. So
what a great situation.
That's just that kind of stuff. It's cool. It's special. It's not always like that when you're making music with people.
No, man. I mean, that's special. Like the
that's deep on top of deep, because when you have a musical connection with somebody, that's awesome. But then when you share a history and you have a musical connection, and then you said you all worked on each other's product or side projects, so like you have that other half now too. Like that's deep. And
totally,
and like
it goes back, you know. And Dominic plays mandolin on Labor or Lust. He also plays mandolin on the Bobcat record that I put out in 2016. Okay. So, you know, that's like and he's been on tour now in my band, you know, so and Bronwyn's been on tour in my band, plenty of times. Everyone in Molly Tuttle's band has also been in the Kyle Tuttle band at least once, except for Molly, I guess. But she's sat in with me. So still, you know,
wow.
It's
watching Bronwyn play is one of life's great joys.
She's a shredder. And you know, it's just so cool, man. She probably wouldn't mind me saying it. When I met her at Berkeley in 2010 or whatever, she was like an Irish fiddle player, man. She was killing Irish. She all the cool ornaments. That's a style. It's like a very specific style. It's not like bluegrass, you know. Right. And she was like awesome at that, and like learning, like checking, like getting exposed to what bluegrass is. And like, look at her now. She's literally a champion. Yeah. Fiddle player,
Grammy winner.
Yeah, she is a Grammy winner.
Okay. Yep. So last question. You can go back to any Grateful Dead show. What would it be?
Oh, dude, that's an impossible question to answer, you know?
That might be the best answer.
It's the golden ticket. You got like 5 seconds.
Yeah. No. I know, yeah. No, I think I would say probably I'm trying to remember the date. Like it's like December 15 or something of 87 when Jerry, like the first show back, Jerry's first show back from the coma, from after he was down, you know. It's they open with they open with Touch of Grey, you know, and the We Will Get By at the end is just like, it's one of those moments like, dude, I've been on archive. I've recently been digging into this show. That's why I would choose it, you know? But yeah, you can listen to a bunch of different recordings of that show on archive, you know, and if you find one that's got a lot of crowd noise, it's not really good for the listening of the show, but you want to listen to the last 3 choruses of Touch of Grey with that, because the crowd is just going nuts, man, and it's so powerful. To me, it's like one of the best recorded versions of that exact thing we were talking about earlier. You know, it's like that feeling that you chase. It's like, dude, they like you know, he's back. They're back. And it's just so badass, man. And there's a great, that was the first Black Money River ever, because he wrote that during that time too. Wow. Super cool. And man, I really have been loving, the late 80s stuff because of Brent, you know. Brent and Jerry had this like magical thing, and there's like all this other stuff that's cheesy about that time period, and the big 2 drum sound can get extreme sometimes, but Brent and Jerry, just like the same thing. It's like you go back and you listen to these tapes, and you hear the moments where Jerry plays something and Brent just answers him. You know, they're musically talking, and it was like, you know, that was what that band needed. Brent was the kick that band needed, I think, at that time in life, you know. And it's that stuff is what I love so much about that music. So I just love listening for those little things.
Yeah.
You know? That would be my show. Jerry's first show back.
I think if I could go back, I'd go to the closing of Winterland.
Cool.
Yeah, that we watched the video, and there's moments where you can physically see Garcia like exiting his body.
Yeah.
And whatever that is just fully engaged, and he's just not present or completely present. I don't know which. And I would love to go back with the knowledge of it and be able to see it, like pay attention and be like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. This is where he starts channeling.
It's about to happen.
It's about to happen. Yeah, man. Well, we have a mutual friend, Sean McLean.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, man.
Love that guy.
You guys were hanging out, and he texted me one night and was like, "You should come to the bar. I'm hanging out with Kyle." And I couldn't go. We were doing something. So next time you're in town, we'll have to hang out, man.
Yeah, totally. Are y'all in Portland?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and as you know, Sean is out playing music.
Yeah, he's the master of the
every
sitting.
Single night of the week up here.
Absolutely, man.
He's amazing.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's got a good. He's got a good. He embodies that thing, the fun, you know, the fun element of music, like we're talking about. Man, Sean is a really good spearheader of that type of energy. You know, he just carries it with him.
He's the vibe tender.
That's vibe tender.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. He's a vibe tender. Yeah, he said it. He said it himself.
Kyle,
You're
thanks
right.
so much for hanging out with us, especially right after the Garcia Museum exhibit thing. That's cool. That's cool that we got to share that with you for a little bit and get that, get
it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, it's not, I didn't realize when I had set this up that's how the timing was going to be, you know, that I would be at the Dead thing and then be here with y'all. I didn't put that together
cool,
really
man.
until today, but I was like, oh wow, this is great. It's really good timing.
Right on, man.
Synchronicities.
Well, we'll see you out there, or we'll catch you here, man. It's great to meet you.
Thank you, Kyle.
Likewise. Thank y'all so much for your time. It's been a blast.
It's been fun, man.
Likewise,
have a great rest of your Sunday, brother.
All right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Wow.
That was sweet.
Kyle Tuttle, not Molly's brother.
No. Well, we all learned something there.
Yeah.
You thought the same thing.
Oh, I sure did. I mean, it stands to reason.
But then that was also kind of cryptic. Like they're not related, but he's like,
or are they?
Like to keep that shrouded.
Someone will know.
Kyle, man, thank you for hanging out with us, brother. That sometimes when we're having a conversation with somebody for the show, there's times when I'm like looking at the clock going, okay, we got 15 minutes left. Okay, we got 5 minutes.
This just flowed.
I looked down and I was like, oh shit, we're at 55 already.
And this felt again like as soon as he came on, like he was in the room, very comfortable, just relaxed, flowing conversation, and
wow. Well, cool. I mean, that's somebody that we said it before, but really, really deserves what they're getting. Yeah, you worked hard, man.
That what he kept on talking about, kept showing up. That's called consistency, and then it's also called discipline.
And it's also called tenacity.
Yeah,
I like that how it all came down to that. Like, must be present to win. Too.
Yes,
that's a good rule for every. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just sign up and bail and then hope you win to get a call like, hey, you won.
Hey, Apple, if I win, let me know.
You were here for 2 minutes.
Even if you didn't participate and you showed up, you knew what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
totally.
Even if you didn't literally run the mile, you saw that fight happened because you were there on the track. You know what I'm saying? So like there is something to be said for just showing up. And sometimes that means just going to the thing or doing the thing or,
like reading the Law of Attraction book or any of that stuff. That's 50% of the work in manifesting what you want in life is consistency, continuing to do something, even if you're not physically seeing a result, you
continue
doing it without the lust of the result. You're doing it because you love it. And continuing.
Like he was saying, the luck is it comes to the dumb a lot more because you just continue to do the thing.
Yeah.
You don't
and
feel,
everybody's like, why
up.
are you still doing that?
Because I'm just going to do it till it works, till I win.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And now it connects a little bit more what he was saying, being stubborn.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing it. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what's happening outside. I'm doing my thing.
That'd be cool if they put that on a shirt.
What?
Just do it.
Like a little swoosh underneath it.
I wonder if that would
that
sell.
sounds like a hit.
You think?
And end up with like a headquarters in Portland.
Should I do like
something?
a no simple road? Just do it.
Do it.
Do you think?
It would probably get a cease and desist really
Mel,
quick.
I wish you guys could see Mel right now. She just gave me the biggest eye roll head shake. Like, oh my God.
Well, sometimes humor is funny and other times it's
let's start doing stuff like see who gives us a cease and desist first. Like
I can tell.
All right, everybody.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna take off. We'll be back on Monday with another No Simple Road weekly rewind.
No, don't give up. Keep trying. You can make Mel laugh.
I
Keep
can't do it right now. I'll try again tomorrow. No.
Throw it against the wall.
Kyle, thanks for hanging out with No Simple Road on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Make sure to go check out Kyle's solo
Saturday,
stuff
Sunday.
too. Everybody.
Weekend day.
They bleed in one.
Sorry. We were
check out Kyle's album, Labor of Lust. Go check out everything that he's doing with the Molly Tuttle Band and Golden Highway and all the stuff that's going on, man. It's if you're, I don't even want to say if you're going to dig it. That's it. So
yeah, there's no if.
No. Until next time, take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third.
Love yourself.
Hydrate.
Love one another.
And keep at it. Whatever it is, that thing that you think you're not making progress on, or maybe even just tiny incremental progress.
Don't give
keep
up.
at it. That's it.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Love y'all. Peace.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 it as a focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Welcome to us talking about our podcast for a minute.
What's the name of that podcast?
That's Axe to Grind, and right now you're going to be getting a little taste of it, right down to the shaky microphone and all.
And my name's Bob.
And my name's Patrick, and usually we're joined by Tom.
Tom's the best. Tom has a real grown-up job that requires him to be at work, but we talk about decidedly not so grown-up things like
hardcore music and things that people that like hardcore music tend to like.
So that could be the latest shows, revisiting classic material, talking about the new classics, all the little dorm room nonsense that you imagine from niche music podcasts that you either love, want to love, or hate.
Yeah, imagine all the emotions that you have towards a genre that has impacted your life, and then condense them down to an hour to 2 hours a week.
So triangulate your speakers, think about jumping off the bed, singing along, dancing like an idiot, and listen to Axe to Grind podcast.